Hey guys!
Hey.
Back again with another episode.
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Deja.
Hey Teresa.
How are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm
Are you
feeling
sure?
rejuvenated. Yeah, after my trip.
Okay.
After our trip.
All right.
Yeah.
So I would ask you how your week has been, but I kind of know.
You were with me the entire week. How did you feel about that, by the way? Being with me for the entire
Um,
week. You can be
uh,
honest. It's okay. It's a safe space.
no, like I was annoyed a few times. I'm sure you were annoyed a few times. Okay, you know what I don't like? And it's not just you. I have two friends that are like this on vacation too.
Yeah.
But I understand because you're on vacation, but like you're very lackadaisical.
Really?
Yes, you have no sense of urgency. And you know
Yeah.
what pissed me off? You have no sense of urgency, but on the last day when we were going to the museum, you're trying to rush me.
Because it's the last
I was like,
day.
oh, so you know how to
It's the
rush.
last day though. What
Yeah,
do you
but because it
mean?
was something you wanted to do, now you want to rush
No, I
me.
think it was the last day and like there's no other time to do it. So this is what we have to do.
Girl, you should have had that attitude throughout.
No, but I know there's always tomorrow,
Yeah,
except for the last
honestly,
day.
the couple of times where I gave up, we just didn't go out. I hope you know.
Yeah. What?
Like,
I was so
okay,
tired.
yeah, I know, but I feel like you've been tired before. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, did you set an alarm? Like, wake up. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The times where I was like, honestly, it's her life. We didn't go out.
Yeah. I thought you just didn't want to go either though.
No, I would have gone. Like, you know me, I'm down for anything. I'm
Yeah.
down for the vibes.
I thought like the vibe was like, oh, I don't really want to go either. So I was like, okay. Like if you said, oh, okay, like I actually want to go, then I would have been like, okay, let's go.
But that's not me. Like, I'm down for the vibes. Like, whatever you're
Yeah.
on, I'm on.
Yeah.
Unless it's like I'm really not on that.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how was your trip
It was
overall?
it was great. I had a time. Not gonna lie. I had a great time. A great time. Yeah.
What was your favorite? I had a great time too. Honestly, like I told you, this is the first trip where it wasn't like party,
Yeah.
and it was more like about exploring and learning
Mm-hmm.
and still
Mm-hmm.
having fun.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I think it made me realize that you don't have to drink to have fun,
Yeah, of course
which I
not.
feel like I know that. I mean, there's definitely times where I get really, but like for the last couple of years, like I get, cute, like tipsy,
Yeah.
I feel like that's more cute. It's more ladylike.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but definitely this trip was like explore, learn, have fun, not party. So
Mm-hmm.
it was good. And
Yeah.
this is our first trip together, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. I think, did you learn anything about me?
Um I feel like I didn't learn anything new.
What
feel
were
like
you gonna say?
that you're just very timely and it's like very strict.
It's not
It's
strict at
giving
all.
strict.
Bitch, how is it strict?
It's giving
I left you
strict.
alone.
Really? I don't know. I don't know about that.
I feel like I left you alone for the most
Yeah,
part.
for the most part. But like, I feel like for the first 3 or 4 days, you woke up at 8 a.m. and came to my room, and I said, "Whoa,
Well,
it's 8 o'clock."
but I've been up since like 6.
That's crazy. I wake up at 10. Like I was
That's
like, "What?"
wild. You wake up at 10?
Like I would like to start my day like
By
around
10, I've
10.
already like woken up, done my stuff, and like taken a nap already. Like, that's late.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I learned anything new. No.
What did let me see if I learned anything about you. I always knew you were lackadaisical.
I'm not lackadaisical.
You are very lackadaisical.
No, just on vacation.
No, in life. Like, you're just like, okay. Like, people are waiting for you. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah. What was your favorite part?
My birthday, of course.
Oh my God. Story
My
time.
birthday, of course.
Story time. So, we went to the beach and, so when you go, by the way, we went to Brazil.
We went to Salvador.
We went to
Brazil.
Salvador, which is a city in Brazil that has the largest Black population in the world outside of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So, before the story time, education.
Yes.
So the Portuguese enslaved a lot of Black people, specifically from Nigeria, specifically the Yoruba tribe in Salvador. So they have a lot of rich, like, African culture there. It's very beautiful to see them trying to connect to their roots.
Yeah.
A lot of them practice like traditional Yoruba religions. A lot of them are learning Yoruba.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's just like a lot of Black people there. Like I said, a lot of African culture. A lot of them are very proud to be Black.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that they were very happy to see us there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, even before that story time, because that's a mix of story time. Let me educate you guys first. But we went to this island called
Itaparica.
Itaparica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yo, there's a.
There's
I'll
so
tell
many
them-
story
I'll
times.
tell, I'll tell them about that young man later. But
Yeah.
anyway, so we went on we took a ferry back to Salvador.
What is it called?
Pelourinho?
Pelourinho. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think the whole thing is considered Salvador.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Is Itaparica Salvador?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, so we took a ferry back to close
Like
to
the
place.
main historic center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while we were on that ferry, we met a lady, Rebecca.
And she's a history teacher.
Exactly. I don't really know how she spoke to Deja and the young man first. I don't really know how that interaction happened.
Yeah, I don't really remember either.
But
to be
anyway, we
honest.
got to talking and she started talking about like how she's a history teacher. She teaches about the history specifically in Salvador, like the Black history, the connections to Africa. And then obviously my research is the African diaspora. So we found a lot of common interest and we just started talking. And she ended up inviting us to a lecture, which was about liberation, which is literally my research, the liberation of Black people and like resistance, Haitian Revolution, all of those things, right? So yeah, like we just kind of hit it off. And the next day we went to, what was the man's name? Hamilton.
What? Oh, yes.
He has like what is it? Like a community center?
A community center. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a community center dedicated to the liberation of Black Salvadorians. And she was doing a lecture in collaboration with
Like one of the universities in Salvador, I think it was called.
UFBA.
Yeah, Federal University of Bahia. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bahia is the state that Salvador is in. So yeah, like we went there. We met a lot of good people. We sat in on her lecture. It was in Portuguese. So
yeah, so we had a translator.
First
Shout
of
out to
all,
David. Shout out to David.
He's a real one. So David was
Yeah.
translating for us. I took notes. Like it was very educational, a lot to learn. And yeah, like we had a good experience.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. One thing we definitely should have done was learn a couple of Portuguese words.
Because I don't know, I can't speak to the full country of Brazil, but in Salvador specifically, they do not speak English.
They don't give a fuck about English.
Yeah, they said fuck tourism.
Yeah, they said we don't care.
We do not care.
Yeah, they speak Portuguese. They don't.
And Spanish.
And yeah, some speak Spanish. Yeah.
But otherwise, that's it.
Yeah, literally. They do not care about English, which honestly I rate it because whatever. But yeah, but they're very expressive. And one thing about them,
Very expressive.
even if even if they're speaking to you and you're like, oh, English, they'll still keep
Continue
talking to
in
you
Portuguese. Yeah, they do not
But
care.
they'll make you understand. They're very expressive
by
with
their
hands
gestures,
and-
pointing, facial expressions, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So our translator was our best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he was
we
doing a
learned-
great job.
What we learned, obrigada, which is
Obrigada,
thank you.
thank you. And no obrigada, no thank you.
Yes, when they're trying to sell you something you don't want it, no obrigada.
Yep.
And then what's another one? Ciao is bye.
Ciao. Yeah. I can't remember.
Buonici.
Yeah, something like that.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah. Or what was good morning?
Bon dia.
Bon dia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
What else?
morning.
I think
Girl,
that's
I
all
don't
we
know.
learned.
They told us a lot of stuff, but I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so which story time should you do first?
Yeah, so my birthday, you said what was my favorite part of the trip, and it was definitely my birthday.
Okay, so
Yeah, or the day leading up to, like the celebration of my birthday, I would say.
well, it was technically your birthday because we celebrated from like Thursday night into your
into my birthday, yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
so we were at the beach.
Yeah.
No, okay, let's start from the beginning. So
Yeah,
we were at
start
the
from the
beach.
beginning.
We're
What
at
was
the
his
beach.
name? Steven?
Christoph.
Christoph.
So we're at the beach, and then me and Teresa were sitting down, and people kept like coming up to us because I guess they knew that we were foreigners, and we were just kind of like
They're trying to sell us stuff.
they're trying to sell stuff, but we were just being like very naive. So we're kind of like entertaining them a little bit, like kind of talking to them, and then when they really try to sell us, we're like, okay, no, we don't want it, no, thank you. So then this guy comes up to us. Where is he from? Australia?
Austria.
Austria. He's from Austria, and he's like, I think he touched you or something.
No, like he came up
tapped you?
behind me and like
Yeah.
he touched my shoulders. He's like, "You guys need to stop acting like foreigners. They're gonna try and
Yeah.
they're gonna try and sell you anything." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Screaming.
So
Yeah.
we're just like, whatever.
He's like, oh, you guys need to say, no,
that was after. So he left.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, "Oh, he's kind of cute."
Yeah, he was kind of cute. He had a little
He had a little riz,
something,
you know.
yeah,
So he came
a little
back,
spice.
and then he was like, "Oh, like teaching us, like
Yeah, like
if
what
you
to
don't,
say.
yeah, if you don't want something, you say no obrigada,
Mhm.
which is like no thank
no,
you,
thank you, and then they'll just walk away.
Yeah, but remember when we asked him? He said he just came from Rio.
Yes,
We asked him like, what's the difference between Rio and Salvador?
and Salvador, yeah.
And he basically said, here, there's black people. Over there, there's
There's
no
no black
people.
people. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so we met him, Christoph. So we're there
Yes.
like chit-chatting with him. And I was like, ooh, like, is he trying to talk to me? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. So we're just like there talking to him. And then he watched our stuff so we can go on the water.
Mhm.
And then after he did that, we watched his stuff so he could go for a walk.
Yeah.
So then when he came back, he's like, oh, there's some Atlanta guys.
He said,
like-
"There's some Atlanta guys over there. You should go talk to them."
No,
We're-
that's not even what he said. He was like, there's some Atlanta guys over there with like big fake ice on.
yes.
And then with me, they're like, where?
Yeah. Like who?
Where the heck is that?
Where? Yeah. Where are they? Please.
So then he's like, oh, like they're over there. Like you should go talk to them.
Yeah.
Whatever. So we're just there talking, and lo and behold, the Atlanta.
But how did they know him? I'm so confused. They came to talk to him.
I feel like he's just saying when he talked to us, he seems like he just talks to anybody.
Oh,
Because even
okay.
when we saw him after, when we were leaving, we drove past him and he was talking to somebody else. So I
Yeah.
think he just talks to people.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Screaming.
so lo and behold, like 5 minutes later, the Atlanta guys
Come to talk to Christoph.
come and talk to Christoph. And
Yeah.
Christoph is like sitting beside us, right? So me and Deja are like, ooh. And Deja's very friendly, okay? So so they're like behind us, and like Deja can see them from her spot, and Deja's like waving to them. She's like, hi. So then one of them comes and like the wrong one.
The wrong one. I
and
did
now
not
that I
want
know
to
him
come
better,
talk
I'm
to
just like, hello, of course you would come.
Of course you would come. Yeah.
So the wrong one comes over and he like kneels beside Deja and he's like talking, but he was actually Brazilian.
He's from Salvador.
So, yeah. So he comes and he's like talking to her, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then after they finish talking to Christoph, the one that Deja was actually waving to
Mm-hmm.
comes, and then he looks at her. He's like, you really pretty. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, you know me, I don't really talk much. So I'm just sitting there like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he's talking to Deja
Mhm.
and he's like, oh, like, I guess he was asking like why we're here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, it's my birthday. Like, I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to, have a good time." And then he's like, "Yeah, don't worry," or something like that. "I'll show you a good time."
He's like, I got you. He's like, we gonna turn up for your birthday.
Yes.
He's like, your birthday Friday? We gonna turn up
Yeah,
for your
we're
birthday.
gonna turn up. I said, "Whoa, okay."
So he said, say no more. And then Deja's like, see you Friday. And he's like, or before then.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
or before then.
So
yeah.
me and Deja are like, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Mhm.
So
This is the
then-
one that I wanted to talk to me. Yeah.
So
it's good.
that night, so next story time. So the day before, when we first landed, we
Mhm.
went out to eat, right? And like I said, Deja's very friendly. So
okay. Whoa. This is a lot. Okay.
so we saw a young man eating by himself, right? And then we walked in and whatever. So we sit like in front of him and he ends up like walking beside us. And then Deja's like, hey, because I think we heard his accent and we heard
knew that he was like American.
that he spoke English. And like I
Yeah.
said, nobody speaks English, right?
Yeah,
So if you
yeah.
hear somebody speaking English, you're like, hey. So
Mhm.
she was like, hey. And then he ends up coming to sit with us. And then like you could tell like he's kind of feeling Deja, right? So they exchanged information or whatever. And we kind of like made vague plans to chill the next
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
So whatever. So then the next night, which was the night of the day that we met the guys at the beach.
Yes.
Okay. So we went to Polarino
Mm-hmm.
with, can I say his name?
Sure. I don't
Let's
care.
call him
Agatha.
Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. I like
Let's
that.
call him Louisiana. So
Louise.
Let's call him Louise.
Yeah.
So Louise, me, Deja, and Louise went to Polarino. Is that how I say it?
Polarino.
Polarino. So we went there, which is like What is it?
It's like a historic center
Yeah.
in Salvador, in like
Yeah.
the core of Salvador.
So during like there's museums there and stuff.
Mhm.
And I guess during the night they kind of have like street parties.
Yeah.
So we went there. They were playing like traditional Salvadorian music. Like people are
Mhm.
dancing.
Mhm.
We're eating. Like it's a good time, very lively, right? So we went there with Louise,
Mhm.
and they were kind of booed up, whatever. And at this
Not
time,
booed up, child.
not like booed up, but like he's feeling her. He was feeling you.
Okay.
He was feeling you.
Yeah, for sure.
So that night, Louise was a very nice young man.
A very nice young man.
Like I was like, okay, I kind of like Louise.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, whatever. We had a good time. So then, but what's his name? What should we call the other one?
I'm about to say his full government name.
Where was he from? Texas?
Girl, I don't know. He's
What should we call him?
Frank.
Frank. Okay, so Frank had DM'd. Oh, okay. Remember I said there was the one that came to talk to you that was the wrong one.
This was the wrong
So literally,
one.
we're walking in Polariano, and then
Polarino.
whatever Polariano, and we walk past. Keep in mind, Deja's with Louise, okay? And at this time, what should we call what's his name?
Philip.
Let's just call him Felipe. Like that one, I'm saying his name, Felipe. So we walked past Felipe. At this point in time, I think Felipe thought that like him and Deja. Like,
I don't know what he thought.
I think he's
honestly.
like Deja, but like obviously Deja didn't like him. But like I think Felipe thought, you know,
something. Yeah, I don't know what
because
he thought.
Felipe was like, oh, he's going to Polo
Polarino
tonight too, but we didn't really care because we were going with Louise, right?
Yes.
So now we're walking and we walk past Felipe.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Deja, or something.
And Deja's like, it's just like, oh, whatever.
I said hi, but I kept walking.
You barely said hi.
I said, oh, like, hey.
You're just like, oh.
No,
So then
you're making me sound so bad right now. But it's okay.
it's only gonna get worse. I'm so sorry. This is like the tip of the iceberg. So then what happened? So we had a good night with Louise, like whatever. It was cute, like whatever. He was a nice young man.
Mm-hmm.
So the fast forward to the next day, Frank, we didn't realize that Frank had already DM'd you.
Yes, that same night that we went out with Louise. Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know. So we're like, what? Like Frank messages like, Ray, like we're finna turn up, right?
Yeah.
Because although Louise was nice, so sorry, it wasn't giving like.
Show me a good time.
It wasn't giving like you gonna wine and dine us. It was giving like, oh, we're chilling with a friend. Like,
yeah,
it was giving like sometimes you pay, sometimes we pay.
Sometimes we pay, sometimes
like,
we split.
Yeah, like it wasn't giving, right?
It wasn't giving at all.
So what? But with Frank, we're like, yo.
Frank said he got us.
Frank said he got us,
and we're good.
and we're good. So we're like, say no more. So
Yeah.
when we seen that Frank had messaged Deja, we're like, say no more.
Yeah.
So this would have been Wednesday night.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Frank and LOL. So the day of the night we went out with Frank, we actually hung out all day with Louise.
Right. We did. Yes.
So me and Deja are in the car now, and I guess Frank had messaged you saying, what type of music do we like?
Yeah.
Because he wants to know what type of club we should go to, right? So Deja, we're there in the car with Louise, and Deja's like, Teresa, what type of music do we like? And I'm just like, what? And then I'm like, oh, it's clicking.
Yeah.
Frank's trying to take us out. So
yeah.
whatever. We're just getting through the day with Louise. Like, we finna turn up tonight. We finna pop bottles.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
I'm screaming.
So, whatever. Frank is like, Frank told us to come to his place before we go out.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's sending us the Uber. We said, say no more.
Say
this
no
is already
more.
a different experience.
We're like, okay, great. Yeah, this is the experience we came here for. Yeah.
Exactly. So we pull. What are we going to call our friend?
Which one?
Frank's friend.
Oh, my heart. Oh, I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. What should we call him?
Jabari.
Jabari. Oh, Jabari.
Okay. So we pull up to Frank's house, and it's Frank and Jabari there, right? And like obviously Frank likes Deja, so obviously I'm gonna like be not stuck with, but I'm gonna be
talking
chilling
more
with
to Jabari,
right? So, but little did we know Jabari doesn't talk. Jabari does not talk. Like,
He does not
Jabari,
talk.
he'll speak if you speak to him, but
Yeah,
barely.
but otherwise he does not talk.
But Jabari was sweet.
He was honestly, he was my favorite.
Yeah, he was sweet.
He was so sweet.
But he doesn't like black women. So anyway,
or he's like mildly on the spectrum a bit.
but he also doesn't like black
And
women.
he doesn't
Spectrum
like-
aside, he doesn't like black women. Because he was very excited to see some white ladies, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, and when I asked him, I'm like, do you like black girls? Yes or no? And then he was like, yeah, I do. And then I was like, Frank, does he like black girls? He's like, I'm not involved. So obviously he doesn't like black girls.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we go to Frank's house.
Yes.
And honestly, you can tell from your perspective. How did you feel about Frank when we got to his house?
I thought he was like chill, nice, good vibes.
But did you like him?
There was potential. There was potential for me to like him.
Okay, but from the beach to when we went to his house, tell the truth.
I think he looked very different that in the night.
Okay, I'll say
He looked different at night.
I don't think it's that he looked different. I think that when he approached us on the beach,
Yeah.
I feel like he had like that
the
like
riz,
the riz, that
energy,
like, that
yes.
American like ooh danger like thing going
yeah,
on.
danger, not danger.
But then when like we went to his house, it was giving very much like nice young man.
like gentleman.
Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
gentleman. So I feel like there's just like
Don't say that. I like gentlemen.
I don't
Just
know.
not on vacation, you know?
Yeah, it's vacation.
You know?
So
Yeah.
whatever, we go to the spot. Great night. Obviously,
It was a good night.
yeah, that was fun. I think that was the only night like we actually kind of partied.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And like it was a
no,
good
we
vibe.
partied the Thursday too.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So like it was fun. Like we had a good time.
Mhm.
Like I said, Jabari doesn't talk, so it was very much like he was doing his own thing, I was doing my
Yeah.
own thing, and Frank and Deja were doing their own thing. But it was like a decent night, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think that Frank fell in love with Deja that night. I don't know what you did to him. I don't know
didn't
what you
do
said to
nothing
him.
to him.
But
period.
Frank fell in love with Deja that night.
Okay.
So moving on to the next night.
So he thought.
I mean, I think he likes you. So moving on to the next night, which is not Deja's birthday, but that night would have been leading. So that night would have been leading into Deja's birthday.
The Thursday. We went out. So we went out again the Thursday with Frank and Jabari. And
Felipe.
Felipe.
So,
And
okay,
Felipe.
what pissed me off that night was like, okay, like I said, Jabari doesn't talk, right? And I feel
Mhm.
like Frank was, because obviously if Deja is with a guy and I'm there, even if she's chilling with the guy, she's gonna have to like split her attention, right?
Mhm.
She's gonna have to like come talk to me or whatever, or kiki with me, whatever, right? So I feel like Frank wanted Deja to himself. So
Mhm.
this time Frank brought Felipe. Keep in mind, Felipe liked Deja first. So first of all, why would I like somebody who liked Deja first? That's
Mhm.
number one. Number two, Felipe is not my taste.
At all.
Felipe can't smell. I'm sorry, like Felipe can't smell me. Like what is Felipe gonna do for me? Like
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And I feel like Frank spending like 2 hours with me, 3 hours with me, he knew damn well
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Felipe cannot talk to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
please be so for real.
Mm-hmm.
So after like so when we first pulled up, he went all out. I'm so sorry.
who?
Frank.
Frank. Yeah, Frank
Frank?
went all out for my birthday. Honestly, like
Frank
he
bought
did
a
a lot.
section.
a whole section.
He
He got
bought
us
this-
bottles.
He got bottles. He got food.
He
Like
got champagne to pop at 12
he
a.m.
brought the champagne out right at 12 a.m. At 11:59, the girl was bringing the bottle.
Yes. Yeah.
And he even came up to me. He's like, it's 2 more minutes to her birthday. So anyway,
Screaming.
I knew that Felipe was there to talk to me because when we pulled up, he was like, oh, like the club's not really popping right now. Like, do you guys want to go get something to eat 1st?
Mhm.
Which was like a 2-minute walk
Mhm.
from the spot. So we're like, cool. So we go and it's like a table for 5. And then Jabari's about to sit beside me. And then Frank is like, no, Felipe, you sit beside Teresa.
Oh, right. Yes,
Right?
he did say that.
And then I
yeah.
was like, okay. So then like Felipe's talking to me. He's like, T. He's like, so T. And I'm just like,
Felipe's funny.
and you guys
bro.
know me. I'm looking at him like, what? Like, what do you fucking want?
It's like, don't touch me.
Like,
Don't even talk to me.
literally.
Yeah.
And then he's like talking to me. But honestly, his English is all right, but it's not very good. Like, there's a
Yeah.
language barrier, right?
For sure.
So I'm just like, honestly, stop talking to me. Like, I don't want to talk. Like, it's not going to work. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever. after we finish, we didn't even eat. We got some
We
drinks.
just got some drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to the we go to the club now, and like we said, he got a haircut.
Yeah. For my birthday, he got a haircut. He was dressed in his best fit
Like,
ever.
Listen, like he went all out.
Went
Like,
all
this was like
out.
he really was, you know?
Yeah.
He went the extra mile.
Yeah. He really did.
He really did.
Mhm.
And Deja's just kind of there like, la la la, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Like she's like, oh my God, champagne, oh my
Yeah.
God, bottles, oh my God, food. Like she didn't really care, you know what I mean?
As I should.
Period. And then what happened? So I'm kind of thinking like, you know, like Deja, like, okay, I don't know if I thought you liked him, but I don't know what I thought.
I think I was just in the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I think he definitely liked, and then there was this one point where he was like, oh, can I talk to you for a second? Right? To me. And I was like, okay. So we go outside and he's like, remember this. He was like, I want to make a video for Deja. Like, can you say some few words about her? Right? Like, just say happy birthday. Like, your best wishes for her, whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so nice. And then I'm like, do you like my friend? And then he's like, yeah, like I really like her. Like she really my type. Like I really, really like her. And then I'm like, oh, like that's so cute. And he's like, yeah. So I was like, oh, like he likes her, like whatever, right?
Okay.
So then, whatever, we go back inside. Remember the video. So we go back inside. Like we said, the bottles come at 12. Like we're like having fun. It's not our type of music, but we're doing the best we
we're
can.
doing the best we can, honestly.
It was a live band, and honestly, the guy was really good.
The guy was good, and the dancers were cute.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it
I
was
was having
cute.
a
It was
good time.
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. So you go ahead with the rest of. Oh no, you tell your part, then I'll tell the part about Felipe.
Okay, so yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm dancing with Teresa. I'm dancing with Frank sometimes, you know, going back and forth. And Frank was basically telling me the whole night, like, oh, we should go to the beach after this. Like, we should go to the beach or whatever. And I was like, okay, like maybe. But mind you, we were out all day from like 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
out in the sun at the beach all day. We didn't even take a nap that night, that day. So I was exhausted, but I was like, okay, like maybe I'll go. It's my birthday. Why not? So I didn't give him like a definitive answer. I was just kind of like, yeah, maybe not. But he just kind of kept telling me like, oh, like, yeah, like, you know, I really like you. Like I really see myself being in a relationship with you. Mind you, he's only known me for like 24 hours.
That's when
like,
Deja was like, cut the camera.
yeah, I'm like, please, like, stop. Like, be so fucking for real right now. Like, please.
Mm-hmm.
You've known me for at most 36 hours.
36 hours, literally.
So what do you mean like, I could be crazy? Like, you don't know me at all, right? I think he just liked how I presented or whatever, but or he thought that maybe he could get something out of me.
That part.
But he's just trying to tell me, I guess, everything that I wanted to hear, right? And I was just like, okay, like, yeah, like just in the moment, like, you know, sure, enjoying what he's saying, you know? And then I come to Teresa. I kept going back and forth because we got some good fish that
oh my
that
God,
day.
it's just so funny.
We got some good fish that day, and it was really, really big. And I saved like half of it, and I brought it back to our Airbnb, and I knew I was gonna eat it later, right? And this was, mind you, like the best fish that I had all trip so far. So I kept going to Teresa like, oh, I'm so excited to go back and eat this fish, right? Like I'm so excited, bro. Like I can't wait. And she was like, okay, like whatever. And I think you were telling me that you were like a little tired too.
I mean, like, okay, it wasn't that I was tired, but I was ready to go because, like I said, Felipe, like, okay, so me and Felipe are sitting on a couch, right? But like, I'm not close to him. I'm just there on my phone, whatever. And then I feel like a hand on my shoulder. And at first I thought it was a mistake. So I kind of like moved over more because like, okay, my fault, right? And then I see him do it again. And then I'm like, oh, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
So then I go like this and I'm looking at him. And then he's like, T. I'm just like, I was literally like, not this shit again. Like, leave me the fuck, like, leave me alone.
And he tried to say that I told him.
No, wait. Then he starts like, then he puts his hand on my thigh and I'm like, yo, like, please.
Yeah.
So I'm like, stop. And then he's like, oh, T. He's like, so like he's basically like, what's the problem? Like, do you have a boyfriend? And I'm like, I'm married. And then he's like, what? He's like, Deja told me you're single.
Mind you, I did not tell him nothing.
And then I'm like, Deja, did you tell him I'm single? And then she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, I'm married. And then after I said that, he got up and he sat on the other side and he didn't bother me again.
Jabari,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone.
Mind you guys, this whole time in the club, Jabari has his AirPods in.
Jabari wants to go home.
He wants to go home. So, yeah. So, after that whole thing happened, I think I went back to Teresa. We were dancing like a good 3 hours, I feel. We were there for like a good 3 hours. It was like 3 a.m.
Maybe like, yeah.
Right?
We were
like
there for a
around there.
while.
We were there for a bit.
while.
And mind you, we're up since 9 a.m. exhausted, tired.
Stop trying to advocate for yourself.
Listen,
just tell the story.
exhausted, tired. So, I'm like, Teresa, you're like, are you ready to go? And she's like, yeah, like, say less. Like, I'm ready to go right now. So I go to, what's his name? Frank. And then I was like, okay, like, we're going to go now. You know, we're really tired. Thank you so much for, like, this experience. You know, we had such a great time. And he's like, what? He's like, you're really about to leave right now? And I'm like,
I remember he kept talking about the next artist. He's
yeah,
like,
he kept talking about the next artist.
He's like,
yeah.
the next artist that's about to come is dope. Like, he's
Yeah.
really good. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
I'm
going
like,
to be
listen,
here.
It's 3 a.m. Like, we got to go.
Literally.
Yeah. And then he's like, really? You're about to leave right now? And I'm like, yeah. Like, me and my friend are really tired, so we have to go. And he's like, oh, you're killing me. Like, are you serious? You said you're about to go to the beach with me, blah, blah, blah. Now you're doing this. You're just playing games, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm really tired. And then he's like, oh, okay. Like, and then I was like, oh, can you walk me out? And he's like, okay, sure, I'll walk you guys out.
I feel like you're condensing it. Like, it was like a long time. Like, he was upset for a while.
Yeah, he was upset for like
probably
a good
like
20 minutes.
30 minutes. I
Yeah,
feel.
like a good 20 to 30 minutes. And we kept going back and forth. He's trying to convince me to go to the beach. And I'm like, listen, I said no. I don't want to go. 'Cause I don't know. And he kept wanting, like, he kept saying, like, I just want you, like, by
to
yourself.
be alone with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Why
like,
do you want to be alone
why?
with me?
Like, I don't know. I just felt that was very weird. And maybe because I was talking to you a lot and because you were there, but I don't, like, why would I not
feel
talk
like
to you?
because like you said, I feel like I naturally give off strict.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I naturally, like, especially when it comes to men, I feel like I'm very protective, especially
Mhm.
over you. Like, don't fuck with her. But, like, I feel like I was actually not being
Yeah,
my
I don't
usual
think
protective self.
I don't think you were.
Because I
think you're
actually
just
liked
chilling.
him. So I feel like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, and I'm right here. So if you try anything, like,
Yeah.
you know? So, but I feel like he thought I was like, Deja, let's go. Deja, let's
yeah.
go.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, yeah, he walked us out and we left.
No, but even when
What?
you're like, okay, bye. And he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he didn't even
Yeah.
want to say bye.
He didn't want to say bye, but I was leaving. And then I said bye to Jabari. He's like, oh, you're leaving? He's like, oh, I've wanted to leave all night. And I'm like, oh, okay, Jabari, see you later. I love Jabari, honestly.
Yeah, Jabari's sweet.
I said bye to Felipe, and then we were on our way home. And then he kept texting me nonstop. Texting me as soon as we got home. Texting me. Mind you, I'm here in my couch eating my fish, like enjoying myself.
And by this time, it's your birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday, and I'm just eating my fish, enjoying myself. He's texting me, saying like, "Oh, like, how could you leave?" Or like, blah 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 blah. I feel so used. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. And then he calls me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness." Okay, so I answered the call, and then he was like, "Oh, like, you know, are you still trying to come out, or like, can I come pick you up, or whatever?" And I was like, "Well, I'm about to go to bed, so no, right? Like, what the hell?" And I'm like, I'm sorry if like my actions made you feel like I was using you, but I was just on vacation trying to have a good time. And I did mention this to him. I was like, honestly, like anytime a man like does something like this for me, I feel like they're expecting me to do something for them in return.
Yeah.
And like,
Which is what he was expecting.
which is what he was expecting.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I don't have to do anything
You don't have to.
for
Exactly.
to you, with you, just because you did something nice for my birthday. I didn't ask you to do all of this.
Mhm.
You willingly did it yourself. You know? So I thanked him for everything and I was appreciative, and I showed him that I was appreciative of what he did. But like, that doesn't mean I have to
He
sleep
wanted
with
a
you.
different
I
appreciation.
have to, you know, that doesn't mean I have to do anything. So I made him aware of that, and he kept saying like, "Oh, like that is like I don't want to have sex with you. I don't want to like
Lies.
do this. I just want to be with you alone on the beach." And I'm like, "Listen, what are we gonna do at the beach alone at 5 a.m.?
Literally.
Like, what are we? And when those gangs are out, like, like, please, no, thank you."
He's so unserious.
So unserious. And like the way he was pressuring me too, I was like, I feel very unsafe. Like I don't feel like being with you alone is gonna be safe for me. You know?
Yeah.
Like it was very weird. So he kept like asking me, like, so do you want me to come pick you up now? And I said no. And then he hung up on me. And then I went to sleep. I enjoyed my fish and went right to sleep.
And then so the next day, we're gonna unpack that later. So then the next day, obviously is, well, not the next day, but the next morning,
Yeah.
which is Deja's birthday,
Mhm.
he took these really nice videos of us.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what type of phone he
Yeah,
had, but it was
so-
excellent.
And then we're trying to like get the videos, but we're like, yo, like this guy's mad at us. So the next day he was still in his feelings. Like
Still
he was
in his
sending paragraphs, like saying he feels played and all this kind of stuff. And I personally feel like he was embarrassed because of his friends.
Mhm.
And I think he felt like, yeah, like I'm with a bad bitch, like, you know?
Yeah,
And like he's clearly the breadwinner in his friend group.
clearly. For sure.
Like they definitely go on his dollar a lot.
100%. Yeah.
So I feel like he feels like he's that guy. And honestly, now that I think about it, I feel like wherever he's from, he's not that guy.
Yeah, it's
So
giving that.
So he has to be in this space to be that guy.
He has to like
you know what I mean?
overcompensate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because
100%.
any man who's really that guy is not gonna move.
It's
like
not
that.
gonna move like that. He's gonna be
Yeah.
like, okay, like,
Yeah, literally.
you know?
Anyway, so yeah, I feel like he was embarrassed because I think
Mhm.
he was trying to show his friends like, yeah, like this girl's gonna go home with me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when we left him there,
Mhm.
I think he felt stupid.
Yeah.
But like for me,
I honestly want to hear like a man's perspective on this. You know,
Yeah.
like what, like how would you, like I just want to know, like how would you
but
feel?
what type of man? Because I
That's
feel
very
like
true.
yeah, because I
That's
feel like
very
a
true.
man who what's the word? Who's that guy
yeah.
or has like sex with a lot of girls or gets a
Mhm.
lot of girls or whatever, I
Mhm.
feel like that would be nothing to him. Like for example, a Nigerian man,
Oh, yeah.
he wouldn't act up in that situation
At all. Yeah.
He would just take you out again. He's still,
Exactly.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
still like all of these men still want to have sex with you, but I
Mhm.
feel like the ones that don't have it a lot or maybe
Are very desperate for it. It's
Desperate.
giving desperate. Yeah.
it's giving desperate.
Mhm.
And I feel like he thought, like, I'm not gonna lie, he did something nice for you.
He
like
did. It was very nice.
it was nice. Like he had a whole thing. Like he planned it out in his head. Like we said, he got a haircut. He wore his Sunday's best.
Mhm.
Like he really thought he was doing something, and it was
Yeah.
nice.
It was
But
very
that doesn't
nice.
mean that I have to do anything with you.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, and I'm not a prostitute. Like,
exactly. Like I don't know what he thought this
Literally.
was. Yeah.
and I feel like, but honestly, I feel like a lot of girls
Would.
would.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would exactly be mad at them because shit. But like also fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you want to, go ahead.
if you want to
don't-
go ahead,
if you already wanted to,
Mhm.
and then he does that, I feel like that would be all the more reason to.
too. Yeah.
If you didn't want to, that shouldn't be the reason, why
yeah.
you do so.
yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So, but I think he thought,
He thought.
and I feel like he was also trying to manipulate me too.
Why? Why? What did he say to you?
I feel like because with the whole video thing,
Oh yes.
like he was trying to, and to be fair, like he was cool. Like he before
was.
he started acting up, like he
Yeah.
was including me, like he was funny. Like
Yeah, he really liked you. He told me he's like, yeah, I really like your friend too.
I don't
yeah.
know what that has to do with anything, but like
Yeah.
yeah, like he was cool. So I
Mhm.
feel like he was trying to like, I don't know. I just don't think his intentions were pure
Yeah.
because
they
of his
weren't.
reaction after the fact,
Yeah.
right?
They weren't.
Yeah. And then he was like giving attitude in that. Deja asked him to send the videos that he took of us.
Mhm.
And remember, he had told me that he was going to make a nice video for her because he's a YouTuber, right?
Mhm.
And then instead of making the video, he just like sent her, he just sent her the video. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he was so mean to her. Like, he didn't
He
even
was so
say
mean
happy
to me
birthday.
after, yeah. Well,
Oh, well, we had a time,
I had a time on his dollar.
period.
So, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our
Yes.
next character,
Who?
Louise.
Oh gosh, what about him?
I didn't like Louise.
Yeah, he was a lot.
Louise was waste. Like,
He was a lot.
first of all, Louise,
Like,
Was
how do you even
strict.
describe it? Strict as fuck.
he was bossy. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna give Louise grace.
He was very intelligent.
He was very, very intelligent,
Mhm.
but I feel like he was intelligent in a condescending way.
Very much so, yeah.
And I feel like he was kind of like in competition with me.
Yeah, he's trying to one up you every
Yeah,
single time.
Because
Yeah.
he has a lot of interest in the diaspora as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as you guys know, I have a lot of knowledge on the diaspora, or I'm
Mhm.
trying to gain more knowledge, and I'm genuinely passionate about Black people,
Yeah.
right? So whenever we would have discussions, and I don't like to talk about certain things with people because I know how I am. I'm very passionate about these things. So I don't like to talk too much because, you know, but I feel like he was like trying to like, whenever we would have conversations, he was trying to almost prove that he's smarter than me.
Yeah.
Which I feel that is not what
He
intelligent.
tried to like prove you wrong in like a certain way all the time. Yeah.
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 And when you don't want to know when I actually stopped liking him?
When?
Trigger warning. So we went to that island and there was this little boy and I was like, oh, like he's so cute. I want to give him a hug, right? And then he was like, oh, like go give him a hug. And I'm like, no, like I wouldn't want a random lady coming up to my son and giving him a hug.
And the mom was right there. Yeah.
And I'm like, I wouldn't want a random lady coming up to my son and giving him a hug. So like, no, I'm just like, he's cute, right? So then he's like, oh, I feel like that kind of mindset is a very Western way of thinking. In other parts of the world, there's more like of community when it comes to children, right? Trigger warning. And then he's like, oh, like child abuse and like what's the word? Pedophilia is more prevalent in the Western world. Those things don't typically happen in Africa and South America and da da da. And I was like, what? Like, who told you that? Like,
he's like statistics.
Where are you getting
your
statistics from? And he's like, well, the statistic da da da. And I'm like, first of all, the statistics on that issue are never going to be accurate because how many people are going to share that with you?
Yeah.
And
where is he even getting this information from?
Nowhere. Like, like shut up.
I just thought of it.
Literally. And then it's like in the West, I feel like it's taboo everywhere. But in terms of in what part of the world people are more likely to talk about those things, it's definitely the Western world.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure a lot of our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles have experienced those things. You know what I mean? But they don't talk about it because it's more taboo in our cultures.
Yeah.
So how the fuck are you going to sit up here and tell me that from there, I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no. You were turned off from him.
Yeah. And like, what even pissed me? And then, so we bought these drinks. What is it called? Caipirinha. So which it's like passion fruit. And it's like passion fruit and mango, whatever. Yeah. So we had like 25 of those drinks.
Yeah,
like
we had so many.
We had those drinks like 3 times a day. Yeah. Right? So, me and Deja are like ordering some. And then we're like, oh, do you want one? And he's like, yeah. I'm kind of thinking he's gonna pay
for it.
Like I'm prepared to pay, but like as a man, like you're with some ladies, so I feel like you should pay. And it's like
they weren't even that expensive.
It wasn't expensive, so like,
come on.
But like also like whatever. So me and Deja are thinking he paid.
Yeah.
So after like we're getting up to leave, and then the lady's like, oh wait, like you didn't pay or whatever, right? And then I'm like he didn't pay. And then she's like, me and the lady are laughing because like like be for real.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, whatever, I'll just pay. So let's say, I can't remember exactly how it was, but let's say like the drinks were 8 reais. What is it called?
Yeah, reais.
AIs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Brazilian dollars.
Yeah. So let's say it was like 8 something. I gave her a 10. So now she owes me. No, let's say it was 60. I gave her 70. So now she owes me 10. Right? So but it was like a small like little thing on the beach, so I guess they have to go somewhere else to get the change.
Yeah.
So she's going somewhere else to get the change, and it's like she's taking a little while, like maybe like 5 minutes.
So we're waiting for
change. Yeah. And at this point, we're trying to catch the ferry
to go back to Pelourinho
in probably like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, oh, so we're waiting there. He's like, oh, he's like, yeah, like, you know what you're waiting for is like the equivalent of like $2, right? And I'm like, I looked at him like, okay, I need my $2.
And I think I said, well, we were running low on cash.
Yeah.
So.
And then he's like, oh, okay. So we're there still waiting. I'm like, oh, you can go if you want. I'll just wait here. Yeah. And they're just like, no, I'm staying with you.
Yeah.
Right. So then we're there waiting. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, the $2 might not be worth it.
He's like, I can give you $2 if you want.
No, that wasn't even. He's like, it might not be worth it. And then I just didn't even say anything. So I'm like, this nigga's pissing me off. And then like 2 minutes later, he's like, I mean, I could have like give you the $2. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so why don't you just pay for the drinks?
The drinks.
Like,
yeah.
you're trying to act like I'm broke because I want my $2. Like, yeah, I need my $2. Matter of fact, I don't care if it's $1. I need that, number one. And number two, why didn't you just buy us the drinks then?
Yeah.
After you drank a drink on my dollar,
I know.
and you're not even here for me, you're here for Deja, and I bought you a drink, and you're going to come and tell me, why am I waiting for my change?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So after that, I wasn't feeling him.
Yeah.
And then we went to the beach, and he ordered fries, and he didn't ask us if we want to eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, we're there, and then me and Deja end up ordering food. But in Brazil, they don't really split bills, right?
Yeah.
So like, I think Deja either went to the washroom or something, and then he gives me like the equivalent of the money for his fries, and he's like, "Oh, here they don't typically split bills in Brazil, and you said you're short on money anyway." So I was just like, "Shut up."
Ew. Yeah.
I didn't even say thank you. I was like, "Oh," and I just took it. Cause like what?
So gross, honestly. Ugh. Yeah.
Yucky.
Icky.
And then
Icky.
and we realized that like I don't think he was eating unless he was with us.
Yeah, he was not. He was starving himself.
Yeah.
He definitely was. Yeah.
I don't know. He was a character.
He was definitely a character. Yeah.
He was the most interesting person we met, I feel.
Him and Jabari.
Jabari was complex.
Very complex.
I feel like there was more to learn about him that we didn't get to learn.
There's many. He's
layers.
Like an onion. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to peel it back.
Peel it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else for our trip?
I think it was very interesting to learn. Like I said, they have a lot of rich culture, and we went to this what was it, like a beauty pageant?
Yes, like some black beauty pageant.
Iliaye?
Yeah, I think that was the street or the set area it was in, which is that street is dedicated to like, I don't know, the history of like African heritage or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, and they had like a lot of performances, like, and they were doing like African dancing and like, you know, and it was very interesting. And I'm such a nerd. Like there was a point where like, oh my God, like I'm tearing up because like it's just, and I was telling Deja, like to me, it's just so profound and beautiful that despite everything that Black people have been through all across the diaspora, like we have still like persevered to still have a culture.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they are able to, you know, do these dancing, wear these clothes, sing these songs, learn Yoruba, everything. Like the colonizers didn't want that for us.
At all.
And the fact that although, of course, some culture has been lost, the fact that we've been able to persevere and still preserve culture, to me is very beautiful and profound, you know, because anti-Blackness is global. So like I said, the fact that we've been able to overcome that to me is very beautiful. And that's why like I'm so like passionate about my Blackness and just Blackness in general. And I feel like it was a very like, I felt God like kind of moving in certain places in terms of us meeting that history teacher.
Yeah, for sure.
And everything that she teaches aligns so much with my research.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I feel very discouraged sometimes when it comes to my research because it's a lot, you know, like it's a lot. Like doing your doctorate is a lot, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I get discouraged sometimes. So I just feel like God was like, girl, this is what you're supposed to do.
This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Like, just chill. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I never knew about the history in Brazil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think it was a very good
Like
learning
eye-opening.
experience.
Yeah.
Eye-opening and good learning experience. And it's very like interesting how the definition of Blackness is kind of contextual because for us, when we were seeing a lot of these people, I think if they were in our context, like Toronto, GTA, whatever, I don't think people would consider a lot of them Black.
Yeah. No,
but I think for them, like they're so proud of their Blackness.
Yeah. And they were very like they loved us too, you know?
Yeah.
Like they loved seeing dark-skinned Black women there. Like they were very, I don't know. I felt very like loved when I was there, you know?
Yeah, they definitely were happy to see us
Happy to
and
see us.
happy
Yeah.
to know that like we came here to learn about their
Exactly.
history,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So yeah, like it was a very educational yet
Mm-hmm.
fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to see the parallels. Like even they use palm oil a lot, which like West
Mm-hmm.
African people use palm oil in like all of our food too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's very interesting. Like it's like we're the same but different,
But
you know?
different. Yeah.
And I just feel like it's very much so a tool of white supremacy that
Mm-hmm.
we as Black people can be so divided.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, remember when, how do you feel about this? So, remember when we went to Polarino
Polarino? Mm-hmm.
in the night and we were with Louise?
Yeah.
So, Louise is half Nigerian and half Black American.
Yeah.
Right? So, we forgot to say when we got scammed, but
Oh,
we saw,
fair.
we saw the young man who scammed us earlier in the day.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And he was talking to Louise and he's like, oh, like, where are you from? And Louise was like, I'm from the States, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, my nigga, right?
Mm-hmm. And he got pissed.
Louise, you could see visibly Louise was like,
what?
I'm not your nigga. Like,
yeah, like
what?
don't say that. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I feel like he
was like offended.
He was.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was offended because to him, whatever Blackness that he associates with himself is different from whatever Blackness
Mhm.
that man has.
Yeah. Fair.
Like, I feel like he feels like, and the thing is, a Black American person is going to experience that word
Mhm.
differently than a Black person in Brazil
Yeah.
and even us.
But like the thing is, I don't think he would be like that offended if we said it though to him.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he would be, not in the same way that he was offended when Hamilton said
But
it to
maybe
him.
he doesn't see Hamilton as Black because Hamilton
Yeah.
looks Black,
He
but
definitely does.
But
yeah.
he also, I wouldn't be shocked if he told me he was something else.
Something else. Yeah.
Because like he told us, like there's a lot of, you know.
Yeah. Like mixing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So like he definitely has Black heritage, Black
Mhm.
ancestry, but he probably has Portuguese or
Yeah.
indigenous ancestry as well.
That's fair.
So I
Yeah.
feel like he wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, he wasn't. You could tell. He was kind of like, what?
And remember the next day, not the next day, but whatever day we went to
We should have asked him about that.
No, me and him had a
Oh,
conversation.
you did? Oh!
That's the conversation.
Where was I?
You were in the car. That's the
Oh.
conversation we were having when he was like speaking over me and like
Oh,
because
okay.
he was
I like
saying-
tuned out. I was like, this is too
because
much for
he
me.
was he was basically saying that his experience as a Black person is different because he's Black American.
Mhm.
And like when other Black people from different places say the N-word to him, like
Mhm.
he's not really feeling it.
Mhm.
And I was like, I can understand that because
Mhm.
to an extent, because like, of course, Black Americans have a different relationship with that word,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I think for us, like, we definitely have American influence, but at the
Mhm.
same time, like our experience here is different than
It's different for
they have
sure.
an overarching Black culture that we don't have. Our Black
Mhm.
Canadian culture, it's either you're Scotian
Mhm.
or you're Caribbean, you're African, and that
Yeah.
is we're influenced a lot by Caribbean people, right?
Mhm.
So I get it. We have a different experience, but I would obviously be offended if somebody called me the N-word. Like,
Yeah,
you
for
know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people, Black people, are not. Like,
Yeah, that's
I've
fair.
had one of my coworkers, he's East African. He just came here a couple years ago, and
Mhm.
one time a client said the N-word to another client, and the client he said it to was actually Black American.
Oh, okay.
So it was a whole thing. Like all the Black people were going crazy.
Yeah.
And then when we were like debriefing after, he was like, honestly, I'm not offended by that word.
Oh.
And I was like, that's fair because you don't have that direct interaction with white people
Yeah.
that those of us in the Western world have. So you don't
Mhm.
necessarily have that disdain or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like although colonialism is still affecting them. They're not,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Not in that kind of way.
It
Yeah.
is in that kind of way, but it's not in your face. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like Black Americans, like, you're liable to experience
Yeah.
that or get called the N-word anytime. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I was like, that's fair. But at the same time, on both ends, on Louise's part, I
Mhm.
feel like he should be able to appreciate that although there's nuances to our Black experiences depending on where you are in the diaspora, at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we're all Black. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
we're all the same, but
Yeah.
it means we're all Black. If Hamilton comes to his state, the
Yeah, he's
police are
gonna
not going to
be.
ask him, wait, hold on. Are you
Yeah.
Brazilian or are you
Do
American?
you have half Portuguese in you?
Yeah, they don't care. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that experience of being Black
Mhm.
is like, I'm not Black American, so I can't give anybody a license to say that. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like, yo, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just feel like trying to find so much differences amongst us, it would be
Mhm.
different if we were finding the differences and saying like, oh, you're different. I like that. Like, oh, let me learn about
Yeah,
it.
but it seems like a negative thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're assigning value to
Mhm.
the differences, which is
Mhm.
what I was saying. Frantz Fanon, a writer, he wrote this book, The Scramble to Be a Good Negro, which is like
Mhm.
hierarchies of Blackness and like
Mhm.
how all Black people want to be like, you know how in a workplace there's always that one Black person that wants to be like the good Black person, or like
Mhm.
wants to be, or you know what, like sometimes when non-Black people say, oh, you're different, like you're different than the rest, like
Yeah. Yeah.
we have like this scramble to be the good Negro, or like to get in certain
Mhm.
spaces despite
Mhm.
you being Black, but it's like regardless if you're in that space, you're still Black and there's still anti-Blackness, so like
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, so I don't know, he wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, he was not. I don't even know what his rebuttal was. I didn't understand it.
He was basically saying that they don't have the same experience as him. But then I also feel like a person who's like mom is Black American and dad is Black American would also say he doesn't have the same experience because he's half
Yeah.
Nigerian.
Yeah,
So that's what
that's
I'm saying.
fair.
Like, there's always going to be, the more you
And
make,
I feel like his experience, like, there's a lot of other stuff that's going on too, you know? So that I
yeah,
don't know if I can speak about, but like,
yeah,
yeah,
for
you
sure.
know?
He's trying to overcompensate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, overall, the trip was fun. It was a good time.
it was a good time.
Yeah, I had a blast. I definitely want to go back and experience Carnival. I feel like I'm really pissed that we missed Carnival.
But is their carnival different than like Caravana or like Trinidad Carnival?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I've never been.
Like, do they wear like the same?
They wear costumes.
Okay. But what type
Um,
of music would it be?
I'm assuming it's like their kind of music. I don't know. But they did say that Bahia is the biggest carnival in the world, or one of the biggest carnivals in the world, even bigger than Rio. So
I feel like they were just trying to like make us like it.
maybe, I don't know.
Like, I feel like they were like saying that, like,
Yeah.
I don't think Rio people would agree with that.
Maybe not. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of people, or they said, because remember we started asking them like, oh, like what is the difference between the Rio Carnival and the Bahia one? And they say that everyone from Brazil comes to the Bahia Carnival because it's cheaper.
Oh.
So it's less expensive than,
maybe it's a more authentic experience.
yeah, and it's like less expensive than like the Rio Carnival. So more people come there. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Maybe I'll go back in like 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah, in like a few years. In my mid-30s, I'll do that.
Ew, not your mid-30s.
Yeah.
Not your mid-30s.
Yeah.
So how was your birthday? Like, how do you feel with your new age? Like, do you feel different? Do you feel the same?
Honestly, I feel like I was nervous leading up to my birthday, but once it happened, I was kind of like, okay, like
whatever.
I'm this age, you know? Yeah. And I feel like this is like very not related to like my birthday, but I feel like every time I travel, I learn new things about myself. Like I keep thinking that like I'm like a very introverted person, but I don't think I am anymore.
I don't think you are.
Like I don't think I am in certain contexts, but like sometimes I'm really not.
I haven't seen you be like, okay, the last time I've seen you be shy, I don't know if I can say this, you might have to cut it out, but the last time I've seen you be shy was when we went out, not 2024, but 2023, like around my birthday, like the end of November.
Why did we go out?
Because some young men wanted to take us out.
Who? Oh, the Nigerian one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I liked him.
Yeah, so you're like very
when I like
flustered.
someone, I'm like, oh, don't talk to me. I'm a shy girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I should have known that you didn't like
Like Frank, yeah. I was
yeah.
like, hey, yeah, come on. Let's get down to business.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like that was the last time. But you're not. I don't think you're very shy anymore. Like you're very like,
Yeah.
hey, what's up? Oh, I'm just like, can you go?
I know every time I'm talking, you're like, come on, like wrap it up. I'm like,
wrap it up,
sorry.
like let's go.
Yeah,
like-
I just want to like know about their
And
everything.
then they'll ask me like, Dej will be having a great conversation. They'll be like, what about you? I'm like, Pink. Like,
Yeah.
let's wrap this up. Like I don't want to talk to you. Like talk to her, please.
Yeah.
I'm just here to
I'm
make sure she's safe.
screaming.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I don't. So you learned that you're not as introverted as you thought.
Yeah, as I thought. Yeah, for sure.
I wonder what I learned about myself. I feel like I know myself. I feel like I get annoyed easily.
Yeah.
I get irritated.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, I get over it. Like it's not a big deal. I feel like
Yeah.
if you don't know me, you'll think I'm mad, but I'm not mad. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I already knew this about myself, but I'm an impatient person. Like I don't like to like wait.
Yeah.
Like what's up? Like come on, let's go. Like
yeah.
you know, like that's me.
Yeah.
Like and it's not even so much that I don't like to wait. Like if I know I'm about to wait, I can tell myself, Teresa, you're about to wait. But if it's like I don't know I'm about to wait, it's like
and then you're waiting, you're like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
I was not.
I need to
mentally
know what's
expecting
going on.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
am.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode, but what are your expectations for? Did I already ask you this? What your expectations are for your last year of your 20s, or what?
Oh. Last year of my 20s, I just want to live my life, you know?
Mhm.
I just want to
You're doing a great job of that.
Yeah, I know. I want to live my life. I just feel like I mean, maybe you're speaking to me having come off of vacation like the next day, right? So right now I'm very much like just in a peaceful.
Oh, I want to interrupt
Mood.
you. Sorry. Disclaimer, it's not that we don't care about following our schedule for the episodes. We've been having some technical
We've been having some
difficulties.
technical
And
difficulties.
we tried on
guys.
vacation, guys. We were trying. and
I was trying on my whole birthday, so
Yeah, literally.
please.
She
Yeah.
tried.
I
So
really
sorry,
tried my
guys,
best.
but like forgive us. We'll get it together.
Yeah.
But go on, sorry.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna try and put less pressure on myself to like feel like I need to meet certain milestones before I turn 30.
Yeah.
I just want to like live my life, be at peace with everything, and whatever comes to me in due time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. I have
Yeah.
a question. Very
What?
random.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a young man today.
Okay.
Remember when we downloaded the thing in the airport? The app?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I was talking to a young man today and like whatever. I'm like, oh, he's kind of cool, whatever. And then he goes, oh, like mid conversation, he's like, yeah, like I have a daughter, right?
Okay.
I feel like I already know the answer to this question now. And I was thinking to myself, like, is that a deal breaker for me?
Is it?
I'm asking you, is it a deal breaker for you? It's okay if it
Honestly,
is.
like
The reason why
I don't think I
asked-
would want that, but if my husband, like the man that God put on this earth for me, has a child,
Mhm.
then he has a child.
The reason why
He
I
has
asked
one
is
child.
because like not one child. The reason why I asked is because like we are getting older.
Yeah. So it's more
It's more likely.
yeah,
You know?
that some of these things will happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer not because I just feel like it adds another layer of like complex relationships that you need to like navigate, and I just don't want to do that, you know? Like I don't want to have to put myself in a situation where like I'm making my life harder, you know?
I feel like you and the child's mother would have to have a stellar co-parenting relationship.
Yeah, we would.
Like I don't even care about the child. I love children. Like I'll like the
Mhm.
child, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, what's the mother saying?
Exactly.
I'm not about to be
Yeah.
arguing with anybody because I'll call the police.
Yeah. It would be different if I had a child myself
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking for a relationship. I don't think I would care if that other person had. I think I would even prefer for that other person to have a child so they know what it's like to like put their child
Prioritize somebody.
first,
Yeah.
right? If they're a good father.
That's another part too. Like, how often
So
do you see your child? Because, like,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
about to be
So
with somebody who doesn't take care of their kid.
yeah, if I had a child, then I think I would prefer to date or like be with a man that has a child as well. But I feel like right now where I'm at in my life, I would want someone that does not have children. That's kind of like at the same stage as me because I want our first to be together,
Yeah,
you know?
that's fair.
Maybe that's selfish of me, but like
It's I mean, it's selfish, I guess, but it's
it
like
is what it is.
understandable.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's
I feel like
selfish.
a lot of people think that way,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel the exact same way. Like, if God would have to come down and say, Teresa,
Yeah.
this is your man,
Mhm.
this is your husband, then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fine, God.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like, are you sure?
Yeah. No, are you sure?
But then I'd be like, okay, fine, God. But like, if you had
Mhm.
to ask me, I would definitely choose
Yeah.
without.
And this might change in a year.
As we get older,
Yeah, it
probably
might change. But as of right now, that's what I want. Yeah.
Well, even though I'm a young 28, I'll I'll share what I want for myself for the last year of my 20s.
Mhm.
I just feel like I want to continue to get to know myself more
Yeah.
and feel more comfortable with myself. Because as
Mhm.
much as I'm very confident, and I've worked on this like the last 2 years, because I think I realized that although I've worked a lot on my self-confidence and like how I carry myself, I feel
Mhm.
like my self-esteem was not as high as my self-confidence, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
like I think as I started to glow up or whatever, I mean, I
Mhm.
was always cute, but like when I started to believe I was cute,
Mhm.
like I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm cute, like
Yeah.
whatever. I put myself together well, but I think like self-esteem in terms of like what you will, how you allow people to treat
To
you,
treat you,
how you
yeah.
speak to yourself, like how you,
Mhm.
yeah, like I think if you allow certain things and you don't see your true value, right?
Yeah, it's
So I think
true.
I've worked on that a lot. So I want to continue to work on that, and I think
Mhm.
I've gotten a lot better at boundaries, and I want to
Mhm.
continue to get better at boundaries.
Mhm.
And I just want to stop doubting myself as it relates to my school, because I feel
Mhm.
like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And I
For
think
sure.
because I'm very much so myself, I don't think that when you meet me you're gonna think, oh, she's doing this or she's doing that. Like, I think I'm
I
very,
think why?
because people have certain
Like how you are you talking about how
perceptions.
you look or
I
what?
think how I look, how I speak, like I
I
think
think if you were speaking
because
about what you
yeah, that's
are,
fair.
I think
But I
people
feel
would
like people have
definitely.
a certain perception of how people should be. Like, they're not gonna think like a PhD student is a hot girl. They're gonna think I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be nerdy, like in my books. I don't have a life
Yeah.
outside
Yeah, I
of,
see what you mean.
you
Yeah.
know, but like I'm very much like enjoyment. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
That's
what I mean?
fair.
And also
Yeah.
I'm black and also I'm a woman. So there's also that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I
Fair.
feel like I do have imposter syndrome, and
Mhm.
as much as I am intelligent, it's hard for me to even say that, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
But as much, like, I don't, like I said, I don't try to dilute my blackness in academic
Mhm.
spaces,
Mhm.
especially for my students, because I want them to know, like, yo, you can be yourself. You
Yeah.
can be black and you can be in these spaces. You don't have to use big words. You don't have to prove yourself.
Mhm.
Obviously, I have a big vocabulary, but I don't have
Mhm.
to prove myself all the
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can have other interests outside of academia. But sometimes I
Mhm.
feel like, um, based on other people's reactions to me, I kind of feel like I can't have other interests. You know what I mean? I feel like I
Mhm.
can't. I don't know. I feel like I have to pretend to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
So I want to be more comfortable in who I am
Mhm.
and be multifaceted. Like I'm very passionate and interested about like black people, the diaspora,
Mhm.
resistance, liberation, all those things. But like,
Mhm.
yo, I'm very passionate about clothes. I'm very
Yeah.
passionate about hair, makeup,
Yeah.
like,
That's fair.
you know?
Yeah.
So I just want to be able to be myself and not feel like, not guilty, but guilty for lack of a better word about it.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So what do you wish for them for this next?
March? Yeah.
Yeah, March.
March. March. This is what's in March? Nothing.
St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. And hopefully winter's ending soon.
Yeah. I think we just need to make it through March.
Yeah.
After April, things start to
clear up.
Yeah, you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
light. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. March, I just wish you guys are, sticking to your goals for 2025. If you feel like you kind of went off a little, maybe March will be the month that you get back on. And what else? March. Yeah. That's it. Get your money up. Try your best.
Try your best.
Try your best to get your money up. Save. This is the time to save.
Yeah.
March. March is the month you should be saving. Because what is there to do in March?
I mean, some people have birthdays.
Yeah. I mean, if it's your birthday, then...
I definitely have 2 birthdays.
Yeah.
Of my friend group.
Mm-hmm.
But usually January, like after December, January, February is usually like my saving time, my no nails, no lashes time. But I decided to go on vacation, so that went out the window.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll make that like March to April, but like probably not. Anyway, what I wish for you guys is honestly learn financial literacy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like to spend, I like to save. So
period.
There needs to be a balance. Like make a budget for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like save. Honestly, everybody's abilities are different. Like if you can only put away like $10 every pay, like put away $10. Like make it automatic. Make it go.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody should have at least 3 savings accounts, 1 everyday savings, and 2 saving accounts where if you wanted to go on it, you would have to beg the bank for your money. Like you need to have some saving accounts where like
you can't touch it.
You can't touch it,
Yeah.
There's something I was gonna say. Oh, book that flight.
Not save and book that flight. All in the same sentence.
I mean, you can
scream it.
Book that flight. Like, experiences are very valuable. They're priceless.
Yeah, 100%.
So like if you can afford it, just try your best then. Like save towards the trip because it's there's a lot of people to meet, a lot of places to go. Like you don't need to
experiences to have.
Yeah, you don't need to stay in like Ajax or like Scarborough forever.
Yeah,
like,
no facts. Yeah,
like please expand your horizons.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's all. This has been your girl Ahimati
and Dej,
and this is
Dark and Lovely Pod. Bye guys.
Later.
See ya.